There they are. Look at these guys. Hey, Anthony and Myra are on. Where are you, Jason? Look at these guys. They're the best. Well, Myra is.
Yes.
How you guys doing?
Good. You're doing good.
The power couple. Bill and Hillary.
Oh, no.
Right, Jason? Can you hear me?
About to strike out, bro.
Oh, no.
To walk out.
There.
Come on. There we go.
Dude, AirPods keep connecting back to the phone. The damn things. The Aguilar team.
Jason, how do you have such a pretty smile, man?
Huh?
How do you have such a pretty smile? I'm jealous.
Oh, gifted, I guess.
Look at that back wall. Now, I know you two are a little bit younger, so you may not recognize some of the stuff back there, but have you, any of that resonate?
No.
I know you've heard of Nintendo.
I'm old.
Oh, does he have Nintendo? Let's see.
On the far left, yeah. See
Boom.
that? Boom.
Like Bernie Sanders left?
No Bernie Sanders.
No way, man.
Nope.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
That's awesome. So I love that we got the team.
Yeah.
The Team Aguilar.
TA.
TA.
Welcome to the Insurance Dudes, a podcast for insurance agency owners, helping us to think of different ways to optimize our business and our lives.
This week on the Insurance Dudes, we have Anthony and Myra Aguilar. This awesome husband-wife team talk about sales, process, and how to build a strong foundation.
Anthony, I haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a little bit of time. How's everything going with Ricochet?
Going good, man. I need to jump on the phone with you again.
Yeah, you got some, I bet you got some good stuff cooking.
No, I'm super basic, man, but we got a telemarketer going, and it's really helping understand the analytics of everything, because what I'm noticing is I always cross-reference everything with Agency Zoom. So
Yeah.
a lot of times I look at cost per lead, cost per acquisition. I'm like, okay, well, this is a great lead source. And then I come back and I look at Agency Zoom and I see, well, fuck, we got this lead 3 months ago, or we got this lead in December and we're just closing it. So an EverQuote lead from December is actually working better than an EverQuote lead from 2 hours ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd actually shut EverQuote off completely, and we've been closing some EverQuote lately because our telemarketing, because it's got on that back end, that constant queue of contacting.
Dude, that's it, man.
Pipeline.
Absolutely.
And internet leads are crazy. And whether they're Facebook leads or whatever, it's like we're seeing at least 20 calls before it closes. We're still closing Facebook leads from back, a year and a half ago. But it needs that like maturity when it comes to internet leads, I think.
Absolutely.
I've noticed if you jump on and you start doing them, it's like all of a sudden you get this big dip, right? Because they're focusing all that activity into the front end of the pipeline. And so you're like, wait, what? I just spent all this money and now we're not closing anything. And so, you start getting in your head, but it's that you got to be patient. And it's 1 month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. And all of a sudden you start closing that biz.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's almost 2 months.
Look at that.
Woo!
Yeah.
A little
For
bit.
the
Is that today?
No, that's, I wish.
that was in the last hour.
I
week?
wish.
So we're like right now, and just so you know, so for the month of May, I only dropped like 2,500 into marketing in total, which is really, really low as of recent. If you asked me a year ago, that'd be like 4 times as much as I'm normally comfortable spending. But and we have 22,000 on Facebook, 19,000 in mail outs, 12,000 in call-ins, which I'm sure some of those are just mail outs that we haven't calculated, or that we logged them in wrong, because we have a very minimal Google presence at the moment. EverQuote's at 9,000, and I haven't paid for an EverQuote lead in a month and a half. And then click to call is at 7,045.
Yeah, so we don't spend no more than $4,000 so far this month in marketing.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And the only
Right.
reason
In a couple of months, it could slow down, right?
absolutely.
Get your foot off the gas.
I mean, ideally, we honestly want to pick up. We're trying to find out what our team's strengths and weaknesses are. So with Agency Zoom's new reports, I mean, the way it breaks it down, it just simplifies the report process to, I mean, even down to a producer with lead source. So we've been kind of, I'd say, taking it. We've been spending more than we usually do, but we've been, I'd say, perfecting the process because, I mean, there was months that we spent $10,000 or $12,000, which is way out of my comfort zone, and hit 120,000 or so, which is not where we want to be if we're spending $10,000. But I'm at the point. I mean, she said we're at $4,000 for this month, and that's just because we dropped some mail outs the other day. So it's just fine tuning. I mean, we have a lot bigger team than we've had before. We're at 5 LSPs, and we're used to having 2 to 3 LSPs max. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The scaling's crazy, huh? When you're used to like small team, you can really hone in all these details. Once you start scaling, it's very easy to spin out of control.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
We did that here and we got a whole new batch of LSPs that are now rocking. But I realized after that first batch that, hey, I got to really spend some time and we got to, build this thing correctly.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree. It's a learning process, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to the beginning. We just jumped right into it. Anthony and Myra, tell us a little bit about your background. Where did you come from before insurance?
I'm going to let you talk.
Well, I used to work at USA for 4.5 years.
I said before insurance.
Oh, before insurance? We're both from Clint, Texas. That's by in El Paso, the farm area. And we actually went to the same high school together.
No way. Is that when you started dating?
No, not at all. We knew each other, but we never talked to each other.
She's class of 06. I'm class of 08.
You're 2 years older than him.
Now I'm 29 and I have no class.
He said he was scared to talk to me in high school.
I didn't want to break her heart at such a young age.
Nice.
So then how did let's start there and just take me through to now.
You want a quick rundown on from the beginning to now?
Yeah.
All right. So basically the way we started off, we both went to the same high school, elementary and middle school. I mean, the town that we grew up in, 2,000 people on the high end?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Wow.
that's on the high end, yeah. So she moved out to San Antonio in 2006.
Yeah, the same year I graduated.
Yeah, I moved out in 2010, and we had lunch. Her twin sister and one of my best friends from Clint up here, like early on in 2010, right after I first moved up here. And nothing really became of it at that point in time. It was just, we just had lunch as all as friends because they were a lot closer friends than, I was probably not even a conversation, to be honest. I was just there hoping to have dinner with a hot chick. But believe it or not, Craig, both of y'all know, how much Facebook means to me, my career and my job at this time, but it also means a lot to our relationship. So, have y'all ever heard of Smash Burger, the restaurant or burger joint?
They have it in
Tucson.
Tucson.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys remember, but smashing was a big term for hooking up back in the day.
Yes.
One of my friends was commenting that he had Smash Burger. With me, a typical dude, I was like, well, smashing a burger can't be bad. And then
Anthony.
Myra chimed in and she's like, hey, Anthony, they have them here in San Antonio. We should go. And then I'm like, okay, this girl's invited me to go to Smash Burger. Of course I'm going to go. So she kind of initiated the initial invite to doing anything. Or
I was just being nice. Poor guy didn't have any friends here. I'm just kidding.
I have a ton of friends. Well, so after she did that, I mean, I'm a closer, bro. So I followed up multiple times. Hey, when you want to do that, when are we going to go? Let's make it happen. And then, I mean, once you get in the door, it's like a game over.
Yep.
Was it the 15th time? 15th, 16th? How many calls did it take?
Man, I had her on the dialer. I don't even remember.
Right. Text,
Internet
email,
leads.
dial.
But I mean,
She opted in, luckily.
no joke. I mean, ironically, I mean, it's the foundation of the initiation of our relationship and also of a lot of my business. Or my business and now her business, because I sold my agency as of May 1st.
Cool. So you guys got together, got married. I know you guys have a couple kids. So I want to know everything.
Well, we did everything backwards. We just got married legally last year.
Oh, crazy.
So
Cool.
we're about to have 10 years together.
10
Wow.
years.
Next
Yeah.
year.
That's-
This will be mine.
Oh, okay. Sorry, 9. I lost track of account.
So what were you guys doing for work? And then how did you guys get into Allstate? Or I probably shouldn't say.
Well, he started working at
Insurance.
USA.
So I started at USA in 2010 as a seasonal support job, just between it was supposed to be between summer and football starting, and ended up taking a full-time job there. And then in 2011, Myra and I were already dating. We started dating December 2010. In March of 2000, it was March, I think. Like February, March, I referred her over to USA to work. She ended up getting hired. I got a little $500 bonus for referring her. But so we were both working at USA for. You worked there for 4 years?
For 4.5 years.
For 4.5 years. I worked there for 6 years. And then as far as getting introduced into the Allstate world, I was one of my buddies was he was a teacher, and then he opened up an Allstate agency here in San Antonio.
Oh, cool.
And I was kind of talking through the insurance process and sales process. They're trying to help as much as I could. I'm literally having a conversation with them every day about what we do in the financial centers and how that could translate into what he's doing in his day-to-day. And he told me his commission check, like his third month in, was like $40,000. And to me, my mind is like, this dude was a teacher before. I've been doing insurance for 6 years. He can do 40,000. I can get at least 80 to 100.
You're like, I trained this. I made this happen.
Exactly. So, I mean, after that, I kind of streamlined my process of going with Allstate. I cashed out my 401k.
Yep, it's retirement.
Yeah, luckily I had one. But
That's awesome.
I think I had $62,000 in my 401k or something like that. I used that to completely fund my agency.
I've heard that story a few times. A version.
Absolutely. So, I mean,
and how long ago was that? What was that? Like 4 years ago?
That was August 2016.
Okay, so not too long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. Only been in the game 3 years.
That's awesome. How was it starting off? Did you get into what kind of leads? Like, what was your lead source at that time?
So starting off, I came in, did the typical, buy anything that Allstate says, do everything they say, which now, but I started off with that, and I quickly realized that, hey, this isn't going to work. And I was buying Facebook leads at the time for $20 a piece, and Frank Jimenez had signed me up to say, hey man, I can these same leads that you're buying for $20 a piece, I can teach you how to do it. And I think it was $2,500 at the time is what the course cost. So for me, I'm always trying to find the cheapest way to go about it. So I got two of my other buddies that were insurance agents. I said, hey, these same leads that we're buying, why don't we just take this course? We'll split it $800 a piece. And then we'll just meet at my office every week during the coaching calls and learn how to do it together.
Nice.
So we're literally sharing a login for it was an 8-week program at the time for the 8 weeks. But I mean, no joke. I mean, you know how expensive it is running an agency. I mean, at the time I thought that $30,000, $40,000 a month in sales was great, but you're getting a $12,000 commission check on the high end. That doesn't go very far. So, I mean, Facebook, and I'm not saying this trying to plug away at Facebook leads, but it literally saved my agency because it allowed me to keep my marketing budget at about $500 to, on the high end, $1,000 a month, and consistently hit 40,000. And then it just
awesome.
Continued to expand from there. But as soon as I found that worked, I mean, the next step was just expand into the real estate loan officer referral relationship. So, I mean, our biggest referral last year referral partner sent us 52 homes last year that we actually closed on, and for every one of those homes we closed on an auto. So, I mean, to me, it's funny when I see this all this loan officer referral partnership now, because I mean, it's been doing it since 2016. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see a lot of the same kind of programs almost like copied, you know?
Well, yeah, and I mean, the crazy thing is, I mean, the knowledge is out there. The education is out there, even to do it in your own agency, and then people are paying astronomical prices for it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. So
to be implement.
Huh?
More or less to be told to implement, right? Here's the idea: hook up with loan officers, be consistent, stick with them, get the referrals. But it is a longer term strategy, right? Those 52 didn't happen in week one.
No, absolutely not. But I'll tell you the biggest thing is, I mean, leads were what got me in the door. I mean, I go in and say, hey, I'm going to send you leads. You send me your opportunity. But more than that was having a personal relationship with him. I mean, I've been to this guy's kids' birthday parties. He's come to every one of my kids' birthday parties. When my dad or my stepfather was going to buy a house, I mean, I referred him over to him. And I mean, even to this day, I don't even really send him leads anymore. But to this day, I asked him, I said, hey, what do you need for me to make you successful? And he said, you send me one. My stepfather's name is Danny. He says, you send me one Danny a year, and I mean, I'm happy. That's more than enough.
That's awesome.
People you can't get consumed in the what are you going to do for me? What can I do for you? Mm-hmm. You got to manage that relationship and be true. Be a friend. Be a human. People want to do business with people they like, not just people that benefit them. You know what I mean?
Being greedy.
I'll walk away. Yeah. It benefits me any day of the week if I don't value who they are or what they're about.
Yeah, it's like the leads and all those strategies and the technical side of it gets you in the door, but then, yeah, it's like build that relationship. That's what will take it to the next level.
I mean, just like a lead, you got to nurture it. You can't sit there and expect that, hey, just because I'm giving you this number, I'm telling you this, that this is going to stick around forever. I got to continue to check on you, make sure you're good, make sure your family's doing good. I mean, keeping it simple.
Yeah. So opening up an agency is crazy, right? There's so much that goes on. It's time consuming. How did that work out? Like, Myra, what were you doing when he opened the first agency?
I was a stay-at-home mom.
That's awesome.
I was just taking care of my babies. So
then
when he told me like he wanted me to open up my agency in my own name, I was a little scared. I was scared to do it because I never been away from my family for so long, especially with the training.
Yeah,
it was rough. It was rough the first couple of weeks. So
she was beating my ass.
I had to be a stay-at-home dad for a while.
How's that?
And an abused husband. verbally. No, it was fun, man. It was a nice little reminder of how difficult it is to take care of children, especially on your own. I mean, I don't know how, and I think my dad was here most of the time. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like just being there by yourself 100% of the time. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I totally get it. My wife will take off. I have 3 kids and 1 on the way. My wife will take off, and I'm like awesome at first, handling everything, and then, dude, 2 hours into it, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know how. Women have a way harder job.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. When I need a break, I go to work.
Yeah.
I work overtime.
Yep. That's funny. So, and how is it going now at the new one? Rocking, huh?
Yeah.
Has anything, what did you learn from the first one, and how did you approach the second one differently?
So she learned that I'm stubborn and hard-headed, and I like to
Yes.
do things one way.
Exactly. Yeah.
What I've learned is her input, whether I've been doing it for 3 years or not, is extremely valuable, and the diversity in thinking is huge. And when it comes to getting tasks done and getting things done, I mean, she's solid. I can say, hey, or anybody can say, hey, we need this, and it's done. Half the time it's already done before you even ask for it. So, I mean, I guess what I'm beginning to realize is she's probably a better agency owner than me.
Well, and what makes you think that that's the case? I know you're somewhat joking, but you know, why would you say that? What's the difference?
Because I know leads, I know CRMs, I know phone systems, I know that stuff. And I do know how to manage people, but I don't know how to celebrate small victories. I don't remember to say, hey, you're doing a great job, or we just had our best month. When we have our best month, I'm thinking, how do we get to the next 5,000 more? How do we get even higher? Like, I can never sit there and enjoy that moment. And she's more about the people first, making sure that they're happy. I mean, you've seen our desk. I mean, we literally had 12 desks that cost like $3,600 from Costco. I mean, it was great. Well, I thought it was great. They were nice. They go up and down, all that fun stuff. Well, she felt that it was important that the team's comfortable. So she literally, her second check, or first or second check, instead of going and spending it on herself or doing something for her, she goes and gets brand new desk for the entire team. Costco's got a great return policy, took those back. But I mean, we literally spent over $10,000 in desks for 10 new desks, so that people have a nice workspace, dry erase boards on the desk. I mean, something that they can be comfortable and proud of when they come to work, not worry about how many wires and how smashed up things are. Literally remodeled the entire office, took one office room out of our office so that we could have more room for desks, and then converted another office into a break room. So literally we have one office for walk-ins, and then we have a call center and a break room is I guess the best way to explain our office. But it was all about comfort and taking care of people. So to my long-winded answer to why I say she's a better agency owner is because she's a better people person. Like she focuses on keeping them satisfied first.
So like what I do, like when it's my LSP's birthday, I get them like their favorite snack or their favorite drink in a little bag. And I just talked to one of them because his birthday passed actually. And I asked him like, hey, what's your favorite snack? And he's like, no, it's fine. You have done way too much. Thank you though. You don't need to give me anything. I'm like, just tell me your favorite snacks. I'm just going to get you something when I want. What I eat. He's like, no, it's okay. So like they're very grateful. They're very appreciative of what we do for them. And that makes me feel good. And that prevents like the turnovers in the office. So it's just important to make sure you take care of your employees. Like treat them the way you want to be treated too.
The womanly perspective to have the empathy to care about what they need, right? Sometimes we just get so laser beam focused. I've done the same thing, Anthony, where one of my gals that really writes a lot, she had a $45,000 month, and in Arizona, that's big. And the first thing that I say to her is, that's awesome. It's the end of the month. I'm like, let's get to 60. And she's just like, her face went from smiling to this like she was pissed. And it's like, man, I just like so quickly moved to the next thing. And you just have to stop and let it land, let her savor it. And so big learning experience. And I think she almost punched me. Like she was back. It's awesome. Yeah.
So you guys have 5 LSPs right now.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 in training, right?
And 2 in the pipeline.
Oh, cool. And how many did you open with at the last agency?
Started with 4.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. With the first one? With the first agency?
With his agency?
Yeah.
We only had
Day 1, it was me and a buddy of mine.
Oh, that's brutal.
At our highest point in time, I think we had 2 LSPs, 1 work at home LSP, and a service person. And I haven't really written insurance for the past 2 years. I've been tied into the marketing for most of the time. But I mean, with those 3 LSP, with the two to 3 average LSPs, we wrote over $1 million last year in that book of business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
What's the plans? What are you guys focusing on now in the agency?
You want me to talk about it?
Yeah,
so really just focusing on growing all the individuals. Cause I mean, our goal is to be at 200,000 a month. And I mean, are we there yet? No. But we are making small sacrifices to get there. And I mean, I'm stubborn. I'm never going to be the guy that spends 10, 20, 30,000 or $20,000-$30,000 on marketing. I mean, I'm going to try to get 12,000 down to 6,000 and 6,000 down to 3,000. So speaking of top performers, I mean, Carissa, who works for us, wrote anywhere from 40 to 60,000 a month every month last year.
Wow.
We moved her to office manager / sales manager position so that she's literally floating around, making sure that she's building up the staff to where they're all going to be performing at 25 to 35,000 a month in sales. Because if we can have 5 to 6 people hitting that, then that's, I mean, more important to me than having one person that hits 60,000. Because then, I mean, our entire business plan would be built around one person otherwise. Mm-hmm. So we literally took $50,000 in production off the table by doing that. But we haven't necessarily lost production from a team perspective. Matter of fact, our top performer this month is literally in her 5th week of working for us with no prior insurance experience, and that's not working a prospect list. She moved from, you talked to her. She moved from Phoenix to San Antonio. Oh, yeah. She actually has
I wrote her auto.
Yeah.
Got everybody out, and I actually wrote it. So that was a fun experience in Alliance.
Yeah, and
the 30-minute experience, 45.
It took a while, but we did do a build a wall. So it became a training experience for her.
Yeah, and actually the way we brought her in is we actually put her through the first 3 days before she even went into binding authority. We put her through the private training that she did for us.
That was awesome.
Vault and the call recordings, and she's like, "Man, this is great, even just to do once a month, just to get that reminder of what we do, why we do it, and all the other fun stuff." But I mean, this is, like I said, this is her first month. She's at 25,000 already. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I have no doubt she'll finish between 30 and 40, but it's nice to see somebody who came in to, I'd say, a fairly high performing team and is kicking all their asses. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So
you need that sometimes to kind of stir the pot.
Absolutely. I agree. I love it. I like it.
It's awesome.
That is awesome.
How about you two? How often are both of you in the same spot? Or is it like you and Frank where we're not sure if there's Are you both there, and do you interact, or do you kind of how have you created?
I tell them what to do.
24/7.
I make sure things are getting done.
So you're just in there pointing the finger, say Anthony over here, Anthony over.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, we're trying to be hands off as much as possible with the team specifically, because we want our office managers to be able to embrace that role, be that point of contact, so we can be more of running the business. But she's really focusing on her 6 and 63 right now. So she goes in there a lot, and I mean, I'm in there a lot, but just because I'm physically there doesn't mean I'm mentally there all the time, because I may be doing stuff for the tribe or Lead Geeks or something else. But physically in the office, I'm there a lot.
Yeah, he's there more than I am. It's just
it does help, even if you're not there to be the crutch for them. When they see you there, it creates a lot of buy-in too with the staff, right? If you're absentee, it's real easy for them to forget the things that we try to train them on too, or that we do train them on. Not try. There is no.
You know what she wants
no.
once she gets done with her Series 6 and 63? Market and send live transfers into them. If that doesn't get a buy-in, I don't know what the hell will.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's cool. So is it hard to manage home life with all this going on? I mean, that's selling an agency. That's time consuming. Opening a new one, training new people. I mean, that's a lot of time.
Not really. Before I opened this agency, I told Anthony my first priority are my kids. So if I need to take a day, if I come in the office to be with my kids because they're sick, I'm gonna go home. If I want to go to CrossFit, I'm gonna go to CrossFit. So it's easy. He makes it easy for me.
So though I'm an LSP now, the nice part about it is, I mean, the team recognizes dual ownership. They understand, I mean, the fact of us being there and who all's involved. You know what I mean? It's not the agency owner's husband. It's not the agency owner's wife. No. It's the agency owners. Mm-hmm. And I think we have a solid foundation between the two of us and our office manager. I mean, I think we're in a really, really good place. I mean, the night I'd be comfortable to say, I mean, we could leave town for a month and the agency would still be performing at what it is.
Right.
And that's always been my goal, is to be able to know that my business is going to work just as good with me or without me as it does with me. And if I'm the one calling all the shots, or she's the one calling all the shots all the time, it's not necessarily always going to be that way. So you got to count on your staff and build that trust throughout your team that, hey, expectation is still got to get the job done.
Mm-hmm. And you've created that machine too, right? So it's more about the processes than it is about their personalities. You've eliminated those people that had the personalities that where you're constantly trying to mold them. And that's just like, you go crazy.
Right.
You can't slip away.
Right.
Absolutely. And it's always continuing to reevaluate that process as well. It's how do we get better? How do we get over that next step? And sometimes it's a matter of, it starts with us at the top and having some accountability. I mean, yesterday I had a team meeting at 9:00, and the day before that, I told them, I said, be here at 9:00. And if you're not here at 9:00, I'm locking you out. Well, there was a shit show for traffic, and literally 3 people were stuck in this traffic in 2 different directions. They got there at 9:02, 9:03, and the door was locked. I mean, I was serious. So,
did you send them home, or did you how did that work?
I was gonna send them home, but the team was like, the team said, I said, look, I'll let you guys vote on it. If you want me to let them in, we can let them in. Because I'm going to have to come to meeting. I'm going to have to have this meeting again anyway. So for me, it's prove the point, get them in the meeting, set the expectation. So I don't think some of them were taking me serious, but after that, I believe they all took me serious. Because
that's good.
I told them today, I said, I told them yesterday, I said, the expectation is if you get here at 9:00, not 9:01, not 9:02, logged in and on the dialer at 9:00. If you need coffee, get here a little bit early.
Right.
If you need to eat breakfast, get here a little bit early. But 9:00, the expectation is you're online. And I said, if you're walking in the door at 9:01, you have 2 choices. You can utilize the facilities, but you're not getting paid. Or you can go home, but you're not getting paid. You can use your PTO, and once your PTO is out, then it's unpaid time off. And I said, I said the only reason we're having this conversation is because it's trending, and I think that as much as I don't want to do it, it has to be done. But it also, in my opinion, I think they'll be thankful for it later on because it creates that foundation and that understanding that, hey, this is a business, just as USAA or Nationwide or these big call centers or corporations or big businesses. We're just as important of a business. Hell, we probably pay more than these businesses do. So it's just getting back to that. Yeah, we're a small local business, but I mean, remember our money is just as good as the money that they're paying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we do have some hardline stances on getting to work now. And then the other thing is, I mean, hell, if both of you guys use Ricochet, it's a machine. But if you're not using it right, calls are getting compounded, and you're constantly going to feel like you're making outbound calls because you're always getting stuck up in that dial queue. So I told him, I said, from now on, you get here until that turns green. Once it turns green and you're available, that's when you do your quotes. I said, if I walk by your desk and you're in busy and I ask you why you're in busy status and not on the dialer, if you tell me that you're quoting somebody, I said, that's the last answer I want to hear. Because if you want to quote somebody, keep them on the phone, have that conversation, or multitask. They have dual 27-inch monitors.
Yeah.
There's no reason to not be able to do those things. And it's not because I want to be a jerk, but it's what's going to be most efficient. It's also going to help with their sanity when they have what we call green time, when they've got all their calls out the first hour or 2 hours in the day, and they're getting inbound calls because people are following back up or texting them because they have time now, and whatever the case is. You're doing two things. You're giving the customer an opportunity to get back to you within the same business day because you contacted them early. Mm-hmm. And you're also giving yourself that free time to work on quotes or reevaluate quotes or try to get a premium where it needs to be. And the only way that you're going to get those things is if you knock out those calls early on.
Yeah, I think it's just like an athlete, right? Like you got to constantly push and train athletes to get to where they want to be, even though they've made it into the pros and stuff, but they're constantly training. And that's what I always say in the office too. It's like, we're trying to get better daily. It doesn't matter how good you are. You constantly need to be trained. And it's something that always needs to be maintained. I mean, it's not a set it and forget it. I don't think anything in insurance is set it and forget it. No. Training, anything. I mean, you name it.
Absolutely.
Well, cool. So what would you guys individually, what would be the one piece of advice you would give another Allstate agent that was struggling? Because a lot of people haven't invested in marketing or in what's really going on in the market and how to generate leads and everything else. So what would be the one piece of advice?
I'll let you go first because mine's going to be a run on.
Well, I would suggest, okay, so 3 things I cannot live without my agency. It's going to be the track. It's going to be agency vault because you have to train and coach your employees to get better. And of course, 3, Ricochet. You have to have a good phone system.
Yep.
On your leads. So
I like it.
Those are my 3 favorite ones.
I'll ratify those choices.
Yeah.
I bet you will.
What about you?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd piggyback on what she said. I mean, your processes and your systems. If you don't have a process and system in place, then, I mean, and I hate to say it, but Tribe or Lead Geeks isn't going to save your ass if your processes in CRM isn't in place. You got to have a good method of working things. Otherwise, you turn a great lead into a crap lead. And in that same aspect, I used to call EverQuote never quote, but now it's no quote now, but quote 17 calls from now. But the fact that you have a phone system in place that's getting that premium on the books. You know what I mean? I've never dreamed of millions. I write $100,000 with EverQuote over 6 months, and we did. It wasn't easy and it was expensive, but we still did because we had the phone system in place and the processes behind that. And no BS, but Craig, when we were having 2 of the slowest months that we've ever had, with the biggest staff we've ever had, and I called Craig. It was actually Myra's idea. She said, "Hey, don't you have that friend with Agency Vault?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, Craig, what about him?" She says, "Well, why don't you see if he can do a private training for us?" So I called Craig. He was going to Hawaii, I think, in a few days. I mean, who would have thought Craig's going to Hawaii? But he literally had like 4 days till he was going to Hawaii, and we had 3 days to be able to get Agency Vault in there. And we spent 2 hours a day doing live training with going through his boot camp. And I mean, literally increased our sales within the next week. So I mean, we went from, we were probably hitting $5,000 to $10,000 in sales to we hit $30,000 the following week, and have been pretty consistent in $20,000 to $30,000 a week after that. And these were with people that were proven salespeople in the past.
They've been with Allstate for a while too.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, Allstate. I mean, we had every reason to be successful, and we were just doing crap on what we were doing. And brought Craig in, and it really lit a fire in him and got us to where we needed to be. So I'm not saying this to sit here and plug Agency Vault to be a cheerleader for him, but the fact of the matter is, just like Facebook saved my ass in 2016, Agency Vault saved our ass in 2018/2019 because it was able to get us from point A to point B with a quick turnaround. And I wouldn't have had the time to do the coaching that he had done, or even presented as good as he had done. So that was one of the biggest things, is knowing when to ask for help, and not being too stubborn to say, hey, just because I'm good at sales or I've done it before doesn't mean that I can't get help now. So having good friends or good contacts, or knowing what's good out there more than anything is, I guess, what I would say is the most important thing. Allstate is literally a breeding ground for conversation on social media. I mean, you can have tons of conversations, get good feedback, bad feedback. What I will say is, if you're looking at, I would be careful with the mouths that are saying what's good and what's not, because there's a lot of, in my opinion, there's a lot of handshaking, or a lot of well, I like them, so I'm going to refer this person over, kind of things that are out there, as opposed to I think bad advice is just as good as, I mean, bad reviews are just as good as good reviews on a company. If everything's good, then it's probably not that great of a company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll say it to this day. I mean, if somebody came to me and wanted to sign up for Lead Geeks or Tribe, and they tell me, oh, all we do is live transfers, and that's what we've done for years, and I'd probably tell you, hey, this probably isn't going to be a good fit, because unless you have somebody that's going to work those leads and follow up those leads, most teams that perform well with live transfers suck at data leads. And I can tell you that because the half the people that we hired when we first started up had been doing live transfers from the very beginning with the agency that they're with before, and they were all hitting 30, 40,000 a month, and it was a struggle to hit 20,000 whenever they came over and were working Facebook leads and any other data leads. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is, look for transparency when you're getting advice from other people. If they're not willing to tell you the bad and as well as the good, then don't trust the advice.
That's good. That's true.
Awesome, man.
And I think, going back to what you said, I mean, I think everybody needs a coach. Even the coach needs a coach. Everybody needs to be pushed.
Unless you're Bill Belichick. I hate the Patriots.
Isn't he coached by Brady? Uh-oh. We're going to get in trouble. We just lost our New England.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys. It's always a pleasure. It's been great getting to know you guys over the years too, and it's awesome to see what you guys have in store next. Really appreciate it.
Hey, I hope we weren't too boring. This is something new for us.
No, this is great, and the international audience will really appreciate it. We do have a listener in Australia now, so I need to point that out.
Nice.
We got the one in Australia.
And I'm going for OSP of the year.
There we go. Thanks, guys.
Your Insurance Dudes podcast is sponsored by Agency Vault, an industry leader in agency coaching, hiring and retaining top talent, and sales training with the 7-step trusted advisor sales framework. Are you up for the challenge? For $99, you'll get 28 days of access and an opportunity to join our private platinum coaching group. For more information, navigate to www.agencyvault.com.
Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.